Listen, you can't be showing up online in 2025 like it is 2019. The business landscape has changed, the social media landscape has changed, and you have to adapt with it yourself. Otherwise, you're going to disappear like a lot of business owners have in the last 5 to 10 years. Because here's the thing, your business has grown, your brand has evolved. So you can't be showing up like the person who you were in 2021 or 2019. This episode is your permission slip to audit your business, your brand, your offers, your social media, and your content, because you have to reevaluate what you're doing at least once every 6 months, if not 3 months. Now, don't get me wrong, you don't need a full rebrand or scratch everything, burn everything down. That is not what we're talking about here. But you just need a simple realignment. I know how cheesy it sounds, but that's what this is all about. Now, there are a couple of signs that you need a business overhaul. You've outgrown your old brand and your visual identity, and you just seem to want to change your fonts and colors every 3 months. I'm saying this because I've been in that same boat and I kept getting tired of my brand colors because I kept using teal and a lot of the things just didn't feel aligned. Your content no longer reflects your current offers, your pricing, or the new offers that you want to launch, because you might be wanting to launch offers around personal branding, but you're still talking like you're marketing to attract virtual assistant clients. Another reason is your DMs might be dry and you're maybe even attracting the wrong people. You're in a process of pivot, but your messaging is still the same it was years ago. You start to feel kind of invisible or misunderstood online because your offers is one thing, your messaging is another, your videos is a completely different thing, and everything just feels in shambles. Or you might even be embarrassed to share your website or Instagram account when somebody asks because you feel like it's so out of whack. Now, I want to say that there's no shame in that. We've all been in a place where things don't feel quite what they want to be. You want to have a better website, you want to have better offer, you want to have everything being cohesive. And I'm saying this as somebody who likes for things to be in order, a Capricorn type A personality. I like things to be done a certain way and I like things to make sense. Like I like my Instagram to be aligned with how my website looks like. I want my website to look aligned with how my YouTube channel looks like. I want everything to be consistent. And that's super important for, I'm sure if you're listening, there might be some people who are type A personalities, so I'm sure you're going to relate. Or even if you're not a type A personality and you still like things to be done a certain way and you like for them to be consistent. So I'm going to help you perform a 3-layer audit of your entire business. Layer number 1 is brand identity audit. This is where you want to figure out whether your brand, character, and identity is clear, whether your voice is clear, whether your point of view is clear about certain topics. Maybe there are certain things that you should not be talking about anymore. Again, to bring back the example of a virtual assistant, let's say you started as a virtual assistant and now you are a freelance agency. And now you offer things like how to start your own business. Maybe you're doing consulting, maybe you're doing mentoring. So your messaging has to really shift and your character is also very different. And then the other thing that you also want to look at is the energy, because the energy of a virtual assistant is very different to the energy of somebody who is a coach or a consultant. The next thing is, do your visuals support your positioning? And the simplest example I can give you here is when you're offering a high ticket service, it gets to look like a high ticket service. You can't be doing basic graphics. And if you're not good at graphics, please hire somebody, please outsource so they help you make your graphics look up to par. Does your bio make it clear about who you are, who you help, what you do, how you help them, and how you are different? Because your social media bios have to communicate what the heck it is that you do. And what are your core beliefs, points of view, and polarizing views that maybe you forgot to share? because that's something that happened to my brand a couple of years ago, where I've always had a lot of polarizing opinions and I stopped voicing them because I felt like they were a mismatch to my brand. So it's time for you to reevaluate even that. The second layer I want you to audit is business and your offers. Are your offers still in alignment with what your brand is about? Again, I'm going to keep using that same example. If you're a virtual assistant 5 years ago, do your offers still make sense given where your brand is heading? I'm going to use the same example I used before. If you were a virtual assistant 2 years ago and now you're shifting to where you are mentoring other moms, let's say, who want to start their virtual assistant journey, maybe they want to get online, they want to make up extra income while they stay at home with their kids. So you're going to have a very different messaging because you're no longer speaking to the businesses who need you, you're speaking to the people who want to be like you. And your offers also have to reflect that. Do your offers solve one specific problems and are people willing to pay for it? I want you to look at all of your offers or one offer that you have, all your products, services, everything that you offer, and look at them and make sure that they are specific to one, maybe two specific problems that are relevant to each other, and they're not just trying to solve the mystery of the entire world, right? So you want to make sure that these offers are also aligned to the new direction that your business is headed into. Another question that you want to ask yourself about your offers is, are your services clearly structured, priced, and positioned? Because there's something about the offers that are completely life-changing and sometimes people charge very, very little for them. So you want to make sure that every single product you have is well priced. And also, is your buyer's journey clear? Can someone easily go from a stranger to customer? Is your offer or product or service positioned and well and easy to be found and enrolled in? Do you make it easy for people to essentially give you money? Because there are certain business owners that I've seen online, and it's so hard to work with them because you have to jump through multiple application processes just to see the price point. Make it easy for people to work with you, because that's how you simplify client acquisition. That's how you're going to get more clients anyway. First of all, is when your prices are clear. Even if you put on your website starting from, you're immediately going to filter out the people who are not ready yet. And then the rest are going to be thankful that you put the prices, because, at least in my opinion, I like to see the price points because it just makes it clear and you can easily decide whether you're ready or not. And the third layer that you want to audit is content and social media. If you are on platforms like Facebook and Instagram, you know that they have those pinned posts at the top. Facebook has one in particular and Instagram has three. Do those posts clearly communicate who you are, what you offer, and who you have worked with? Because when you are on social media, you get to leverage every single feature that you have access to. And I personally love using those little areas where I can tell people more about who I am, what my services are, what kind of transformations I help my clients achieve, because that's the first thing that people see when they land on your profile. Just like the cover photo on your Facebook account is the first thing people see. So you can either put your family there, or you can put something strategic that's about your offer, maybe your latest event that you have been running, maybe your service, maybe your freebie, or just in general what it is that you do. One of the most important things that you want to audit when it comes to your content is your content actually building demand for your services, or is it just there to get likes and comments? And I want you to also think about whether your content hits all of these 6 types. So I have a lethal content framework that I believe is the key when it comes to creating strategic content that positions you as an authority, sells your offer, and builds trust. The first thing is leader positioning content. The second one is educational content. The third one is transformational content. The fourth one is hype content, aka your promotional content. The fifth one is aspirational, and the last one is lifestyle content. So you want to make sure that you hit on all 6. And if you'd like to learn more about the framework, you can go to www.thecontentconfidential.com. And in my signature program, I share this entire framework in detail and also how to build a content strategy that's going to work for your business. If there's any content that feels misaligned, old, or just no longer feels like it is relevant to your brand and offers anymore, feel free to archive that. This is something that I did with my YouTube channel, and even with my articles on my website recently, I deleted pretty much everything because they're very old. A lot of them don't drive a lot of traffic to the website or my YouTube channel, so I was like, it's time to really let them go and start bringing in the new content and start showing up with the message that I know I have to share now versus 7 years ago. And also, the other thing that you want to audit is, are all the platforms that you're currently showing up on make sense for you? For example, there was one point in my business where I would show up on LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is like the hardest effort platform for me. I feel like it's so hard for me personally to be there. I've even had it outsourced for some time, but it's just the one platform where I'm kind of like in and out of every single time. I want to love it, but I just can't seem to love it enough. I like YouTube a lot more. I even like Facebook a lot more. I do like the idea of LinkedIn. I do like the fact that there's content shortage. So there's a lot of creators, but there's not a lot of people who actually post content. So it's kind of like a blue ocean in terms of social media. But for me personally, it's never been my favorite platform. Not that you necessarily need to have favorite platforms, but think about all the platforms that you show up on. What is one, maybe even two, that are kind of draining and they're not necessarily bringing in the most of results? Or if they're kind of draining, but they do bring you results, is there a way for you to automate them or outsource them? Now that you audit every single layer of your business, I want you to not be a perfectionist about it, because nothing is ever set in stone. You can always change things. It's your business. It's not a literal stone where you carve something in it and then there's no way to remove that. Your business is always going to shift. It's always going to evolve. You're always going to change different offers. And whoever said that you're going to create one course, run an evergreen webinar, and you're going to have a passive business with passive income has lied to you, because that is not what all those people are doing. They do have investments that maybe are a little bit passive, like crypto or whatever, but even still, you have to monitor that kind of stuff. I personally don't believe in something being fully passive and fully automated, because every single automation still needs to be managed. So I want you to start with the low effort but high impact activities. Anything that's positioning, messaging, like your social media bios, maybe like your pinned posts at the top, even your graphics, even your visuals, your entire visual identity and branding as a whole. Change that up, tweak it. What are some of the things that you can make it look more evolved? Right? So tweak that and take it one step at a time. Just like the old saying goes, how do you eat an elephant? You eat it one bite at a time. So take it one step at a time, give yourself time, and update things gradually as you go. Don't try to dump it all on yourself all at once. Otherwise, it is going to be freaking overwhelming. Take the time to clean up your old Instagram posts, archive whatever doesn't need to be there. And there are certain platforms where I do care about archiving posts, like Instagram, because some psychos can scroll all the way down to the bottom. Like YouTube, people can scroll all the way to the bottom because you have multiple columns, right? You have like 3-4 different columns on YouTube. That way, I want to eliminate kind of like the shame partially. Not that I care about that personally, because I do feel like showing your old posts is kind of good because people get to see the growth, they see how you evolved. But even still, if that bothers you and you want to kind of have a lower number on Instagram of your posts, you can do that. And then you want to update any of your offers, and that's going to take the most time, especially if you're shifting from one industry to the next industry, if you're eliminating some offers. And that's actually a really good thing to do towards the end of the year, when we kind of look at the entire year and then we reevaluate, okay, so what have we sold this year that maybe hasn't performed as good as we expected? What are some of the things that we want to maybe update for the new year? So I would recommend leaving some of these parts for the audit for the later in the year, especially if you have a lot of the offers that are already selling right now and there are certain things in the back burner that you just kind of like can poke, but nothing really happens with them. So you can leave that towards the end of the year. And then, of course, with the new messaging, with the elevated brand identity, you want to make sure that your content reflects that, because that's the first visual thing that people see that's being changed is the messaging. And that's something that my audience actually noticed immediately once I started shifting from kind of the old identity, stepping into the new identity, is the messaging that I started changing, the stories that I started sharing. Even the vocabulary in my content has been noticed. So your content is kind of the last but most important thing. Doing this kind of audit every 6 to 12 months is going to really help you stay relevant, if that's even the word for this kind of scenario, but it's really going to help you stay ahead of the game, make sure that your offers are not outdated, because again, believing that let's say if you're running a coaching business, it's not going to be completely automated, completely evergreen, because things change and shift so much, especially if you're somebody who's an automation expert, or if you are AI expert, or even if you are an ad specialist. You know how things change. You can create a Facebook ads course and next month it's going to be irrelevant, or a lot of the things are going to be obsolete, right? So you always want to have the edge in your industry. You always kind of want to have the pulse, touch the pulse of the market, to know what exactly is going on, so you stay relevant to that. And you don't have to do the complete audit, like extensive and change everything every 6 months, but even if it's just one thing, even if it's looking at your offers, eliminating something, adding something new, testing and tweaking, even if it's changing your Instagram bio, like tweaking the language a little bit. Again, you're not going to change from being a finance bro to a fitness enthusiast, right? So it's not like you're going to shift industries completely, but it's just doing the small tweaks at least once or twice a year is really going to help you with your business.